for those of you who are in nice and early, let's get stuck into the Trent situation. And this comes out of Spain, by the way, so this is what makes it even more possible to me. So we've seen lots of stuff coming out of Spain from various outlets to suggest that Liverpool should just give up trying to extend Trent because he was on his way to Madrid. But now, Dario AS, well, they've said something very, very different indeed. And full credit to the Anfield Buzz who posted this. Said, Real Madrid want Pedro Porro. They know Porro would be excited to wear the famous white shirt. Madrid like Trent, but they have massive doubts about his defensive capabilities. Or, and let me rephrase this a little bit, Real Madrid want Pedro Porro. They know Pedro Porro will actually run to Real Madrid and take the white shirt. Trent maybe doesn't want to go, and all of a sudden now they have doubts about him. They were obsessed with him a couple of weeks ago, but now they have some doubts about his defensive capabilities. Good! Keep having them. Move on. Go after Pedro Porro, and we'll take care of Trent and his defensive capabilities right here at Liverpool. He can continue to be one of the defenders from the best defence in the league currently, but, you know, hey-ho. So look, let's hope that this is true. Let's hope that this leads to an offer maybe for somebody else, because it's music to my ears hearing this come out of Spain. Usually it's the exact opposite. They're bigging up the Spanish clubs. They're saying how, you know, Liverpool should just give up. No point in even trying to extend Trent, according to them a while ago. Do we believe the stories about Trent, by the way? And this one, I mean, in particular, because Pedro Porro's name has been one that has been mentioned around Real Madrid, probably for as long as the Trent rumour, except we haven't really paid much attention to Pedro Porro stuff because, of course, our focus has been on Trent staying here. So I haven't even looked at the other targets Real Madrid have been interested in. And I don't know. The last 2 or 3 days, I can feel a change in my, I guess, optimism around the Trent stuff. I could be luring myself into a false sense of security here, but I do feel that something, oh God, these words are never going to come out of my mouth again, by the way, but Paul Merson was right about something. Now, you can frame that because I'll probably never say that again. But Paul Merson was right about one thing, and he said that basically Liverpool can't allow this situation with the three boys to go into January because, you know, they could sign a pre-contract with a club and, you know, keep it to themselves, not even speak about it. So he did say that things would get toxic if it's not done by then. And you know what? I agree. We do. We've all said this. We need to have it sorted out before the January window opens. Now, I still think I would have liked to sort it out even earlier than that, but I don't know. I'm a bit more optimistic now. Maybe, as I said, this is false bravado, but, you know, I'm humming and hawing. 1 week I'm 60-40, Trent's going to go. Another week I'm 50-50. Right now I'm a bit optimistic he stays. It doesn't look like, by the way, he'll be available for Real Madrid, nor will Alisson, based off Arne Slot's words today. He certainly isn't available for the game against Southampton, so we will see Conor Bradley coming in and most likely Kelleher in goal as well. They have 5 weeks to sort this out, said Bruno. No excuses. Exactly. No excuses is the phraseology I would be using as well. You know, I've tried to think about this from different viewpoints in the last few days, particularly around who's responsible and who's to blame. And do you know what? I've come to a conclusion. I don't care who's to blame. I don't care if it's Edwards, I don't care if it's Hughes, I don't care if it's FSG. Ultimately, all any of us ever wanted was not to be pointing the finger of blame, but to be talking about it getting done. And if it gets done, I guess that's all we want, right? If we need to point a finger of blame, we can argue about where that goes in the future. But right now, let's just hope that they are doing what we believe, which is sorting these deals out. And, you know, get to it, guys, please. So back to the Trent thing, by the way, because I don't know if people are coming in maybe feel like they missed the conversation around the Trent situation. A report coming out of Spain today from Dario AS said that Real Madrid want Pedro Porro. They go on to say they know Porro would be excited to wear the famous white shirt. Madrid like Trent, but they have massive doubts about his defensive capabilities. Is it just me, or does that sound a little bit bitter? So let's break this down into a little segment for a second. Let's look at the first part of what Dario AS have said there. Real Madrid want Pedro Porro. They know Porro would be excited to wear the famous white shirt. So what I read that from is They like Pedro Porro, and they feel that Trent doesn't want to come and isn't crawling over broken glass to wear the white shirt and isn't just bowing down to them when they flash their eyelids. That's what I take from the first part of that. In the second part, they go on to say they like Trent, but they have massive doubts about his defensive capabilities. It's almost as if, I don't know, you're not getting him now, and all of a sudden he's not the player he was last week. And this is, by the way, what I've and many people have warned Trent about all the way through. It's all very well and good having Madrid over there and the bright lights and the Santiago Bernabeu and all the European Cups and Florentino Perez telling you this. But watch very quickly what happens if you aren't 10 out of 10 every week. Or perhaps you make a mistake. Or the fans start to feel like maybe they want Danny Carvajal back in. Very, very quickly over there they turn. It's very fickle. And he will not get the same level of backing and support that he will receive from Liverpool fans. So I hope he's paying attention to these things. If he hasn't made his mind up yet, I hope he can maybe get a taste there of what he's in for. Because, why look for a right back if you have massive doubts about his abilities to defend? It's a bit counterintuitive, is it not? So what do we think on Trent? Let me ask the poll today and what you think he's going to do. Because, you're probably like me, maybe you're not, but my views on this have gone up and down about what I believe he'll do or what I think will happen next. So let's ask. So, question is, will Trent sign a new Liverpool deal? Yes or no? And we will leave that running and we'll come back to it and see how you guys feel. Tony said, don't believe any speculation about players until they're wearing the shirt. So, I got to be honest with you, Tony. Even when I wasn't making content, I'm a hound for transfer talk. Even back in the days, I used to work in a cafe that had all the newspapers in it every day for the customers to read, and I'd go straight to the back pages every morning when they came in, read through every transfer story from clubs, and I love it. I love the whole hunt. I love Liverpool fans trying to find out if there's any truth to the links, tracking planes, Mercedes Vitos. I love it all. You're probably right in what you're saying to not believe that until they're holding up the shirt, but I can't lie, mate. I do love the journey and the mystique around it all. Marcus, thank you, bro, for your super chat. Really appreciate you. Said, hi, do you think Trent's contract delay is like Gerrard in 2005? Gerrard didn't sign the contract until after the Champions League win. Hopefully Trent is waiting. So the answer is, of course, Marcus, that I don't know what the hold-up is or what's delaying this deal. But what I feel comfortable in saying, because it's just my view, is anybody that goes into the January transfer window not having extended, I'm very, very concerned about. Because we then don't have the protection of these players not being legally approached by clubs. Real Madrid could talk to Trent and his agent every day of the week. He could even sign a pre-contract with a club outside of England and wouldn't have to tell Liverpool. So I'm not saying he'd do that, but for me, the cut-off point is the January window. If the club don't get these done by then, in my mind anyway, I'm almost admitting defeat of any player who hasn't signed by then. Because I still, like I've said many times, I do not understand how we're here. I don't understand how this has happened. I don't understand how the club have allowed this situation to get to where it is with Trent, with Virgil and Mo. It all just seems like poor planning. Porro already wears a famous white shirt, just a different kind of famous. Yeah, with the new Nando's logo on it as well. Have you seen the new Spurs badge, by the way? Simplified it, we've modernised it. No, you've made it look like Nando's. That's what you've done. And look, I love Nando's, so, maybe looking at the Spurs badge now is just going to make me hungrier. I still think Trent is leaving, says LFC. Look, again, mate, I can understand everyone's thinking around it, and my own decision or thought processes have been up and down about Trent. One day I'm petrified he's leaving, the next day I'm a bit more optimistic. I think it's just the uncertainty of it all just makes us all feel concerned, which again is totally understandable. If you heard Trent only stayed because Madrid said no, would that change your opinion on Trent? I mean, it's a very hypothetical question, and said no to what exactly? Because I don't believe for 1 second that Real Madrid will look at Pedro Porro and Trent. I don't know what Porro's contractual situation is with Spurs, so I don't know if they'd have to pay a fee there or not, but there's no world that I think any football club look at those two and don't want Trent. So I think if Trent stays at Liverpool, for me, it's because he wants to stay at Liverpool and not because Madrid said no or anything along those lines. I just don't think that's the case, or would be the case, I should say.